And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the greatest real estate investment show ever. Here's the flip-flop investor himself, Todd Bayer.
Hey everyone, how we doing out there today? This is the Flip-Flop Investor Show, and I am your host, Todd Bayer, the Flip-Flop Investor himself. For those of you that don't know, we get together every single week. We talk about real estate investing here in the Inland Empire, and actually we talk about real estate investing all over the place. So we just happen to be doing the show here from beautiful Redlands, California. So I like to bring on a special expert every single week and talk to them about what they do in real estate to give you a better idea of things you could do in real estate to invest on your own. Today, we have Travis Rasmussen in the studio. How you doing today, Travis?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing good.
I guess I should have turned on his microphone.
Yeah.
How you doing today, Travis?
I'm doing great, guys, now that you can hear me.
Yeah, there you go. There you are.
Hi.
Great to hear your voice and not just see you. For those of you watching on YouTube right now, you can see us live on YouTube. If you go to the KCAA radio channel, that is, you can see us live. It's, very, very amazing. You'll be more impressed. I guarantee it.
It's exciting, let me tell you.
Very exciting, yeah. So, Travis, what do you do in real estate?
Well, what I do in real estate is I do a lot of Airbnbs. Mm-hmm. My wife and I currently have 2 Airbnbs, and we have a third one that we co-host, basically manage, but we co-host that one. And we also have a couple other investments. We have a 7-unit out in Desert Hot Springs.
Okay.
And we're just trying to build that empire.
Okay, very cool, very cool. The Airbnb, I mean, I'm sure most people have heard of Airbnb at this point. It's not a foreign concept,
Nope.
I mean, there was a while there where nobody ever heard of a short-term rental.
Yeah,
what
are those?
So that's what Airbnb is. It's a short-term rental platform where people can, rent a space that you own or control for a short period of time, be it a day, a week, whatever.
Exactly.
So when you do your rentals, like you said, you have a couple out in Florida.
Yep.
Those properties are primarily aimed towards who?
So for short-term rentals, the ones in Florida primarily, when we were looking at different areas, we wanted an area for us that had a lot of consistent traffic. And so with that, in Florida, you definitely have lots of places where families are going.
Right.
So when we were looking at properties out there, we actually purposely targeted towards families traveling together.
Okay.
So like for our properties out there, they actually have 2 masters.
Okay.
People are going on vacations. They usually, for expensive vacations, are sharing that cost. They're going with, other family members, or other friends. So for both the townhouses we have out there, they're actually 4 bedrooms, 2 masters, and that way, when people go on vacation, they're able to save a lot of money by just combining those expenses and getting an Airbnb instead of just paying for a hotel.
That makes sense. And actually, when I travel, a lot of times I'm going with my wife, my kids, and my in-laws. Like we usually go on vacations together.
Exactly.
And so we actually went to the what's it called, the Great Wolf Lodge. Have you been to this place out in Anaheim?
I have not, but I've heard of it.
Okay, so it's like an indoor water park, and they have family style rooms. Like they've obviously thought this through a little bit, and they have like multi bedroom suites and stuff like that. So we have like a 2-bedroom suite, but a lot of places you go, you get like the 2 queen bed option. That's about the best you're going to get.
Exactly.
If you go to a hotel, that is.
And especially for like families when, they have to get another room for their kids. Man, I can't believe as a parent, I got twins on the way, having to pay for a whole nother room just because, I need to take care of my kids and stuff. Like what we have all the rooms in one spot. But, their kids are just down the hallway.
Right. Yeah, you're all under the same roof, so, you don't need to worry about it so much. Whereas if they're in the hotel room next to you or the hotel room down the hall or
what's going on?
On a completely different floor, heaven forbid. What kind of trouble could they get into like that? But, I've heard of other people I know, other friends I have, like, they'll have like it's a 1 king bedroom, and so like, dad will stay in there with their son and, mom will stay in the other room with the daughter. I've heard of people doing it that way, or, when they're young, I don't think anybody really separates the kids so much from the parents, but I don't know. It's tough sometimes traveling as a family, when you need, and there's some people that have a family of 6 or 8, and it's just mom and dad and like a bunch of kids. And I don't know what they do. I have no clue because you can't usually fit like an air mattress.
They book my places. That's what they do.
That's exactly right. And that's what I was getting at. That there's a need for this kind of stuff, and it's kind of unfortunate that, you know, there's a lot of municipalities that have some issues with Airbnb. You know, I know there's been some bad eggs out there that, you know, might spoil the bunch, but I mean, for the most part, these are decent places. A lot of the hosts actually care about their location. They're not trying to make it a bad experience. In fact, they work very hard to make it a good experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you're ever booking, I mean, Superhosts is what you want to look for, because those are the hosts that have really good reviews. They care about their guests. I mean, anytime my wife and I travel now, we use Airbnb a lot now. We can only really book Superhosts.
Okay.
Sorry. You know, I know it sounds really bad. You know, don't let that deter you from other places. But you know,
but if you're like if you're an up and comer, first rental, first Airbnb, you might find it hard to book some places because there's some people, like, you might find it hard to get bookings because you're not a Superhost to start off with, obviously.
Well, you can still get bookings. It's all about pricing it right.
Right.
But, you know, just being on the consumer end of that as well. You know, we like to go to Airbnbs and figure out how we can always improve. And let me tell you, there's definitely a difference between the Superhost and the non-Superhosts.
Right. But you could probably tell who's going to become a Superhost too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
you guys obviously care about the experience that I'm going to have. Because, the first time I ever had experience with Airbnb, me and Steven, my business partner Steven, we actually were going to a conference in Hollywood. And it's not like it's far from here or anything, and we could have probably just commuted in, but we didn't want to sit for 3 hours on the freeway in the morning because it started at like 8, and we didn't want to have to leave at 5 in the morning, you know, because it was also a late event and went late in the day. So we decided to stay out in Hollywood for one night to go to this event because it was a 2-day thing. And, you know, first time I'd ever done it, and the host was... she had like a condo or something like that was, you know, pretty close to the hotel where this event was being held. And we stayed in this place, and it was a little weird for me because she wasn't a Superhost, and I don't know if they did Superhost at this time, but you know, it was just, you're just showing up to somebody's apartment, it seemed like, you know,
I know.
and like, you know, like all of her stuff was all over the place. It was kind of weird for me because it was clearly she lived there, she just wasn't there at that time. You know, like, it was obvious that we were renting her place and she was staying somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm just walking into some stranger's house. What am I doing here?
Yeah, like, I didn't, you know, like, she had like an Xbox and a TV, and like, I didn't want to
turn it on. Do you play it?
I didn't want to, even though she said it was fine, you know, but I didn't want to like mess up anything. What if I, you know, change the source on the TV and I can't figure out how to get back, or so, I don't know, you know, we didn't take advantage of any of the amenities of this girl's apartment. We didn't cook anything in the kitchen because like there weren't dirty dishes, but there was like a lot of stuff on the counter, you know, like a lot of clutter.
yeah, you were just there at sleep.
Pretty much, that's all we did there, you know, was sleep there. But it was still kind of strange. I felt like I was sleeping in somebody else's house. But
well, you were.
I was. But like, you don't live in the places that you have out in Florida.
No, I don't.
Like, those are not a full-time house for someone. You're not relocating a family so somebody else can come stay in there. So it's purposeful.
Correct.
Is what it's like the differentiating thing. And like, is there a way to kind of tell on Airbnb if you're getting that sort of an experience?
Yes, there is. Let me tell you. So there is actually a few different things on Airbnb. You have entire places, you have a private room, and you actually have shared, I forgot what they call it, like basically shared places where like if someone has 3 extra bedrooms in their house, they might actually rent out each bedroom to a different group.
Okay.
And so at that point, what you want to really pay attention to is the fact that you will be sharing common areas with other guests that are staying.
Okay.
And some people just aren't aware of that. And I completely understand if they're not new to the platform, you know, knowing those different things. So with my place, I still get this question quite commonly, are you going to be there?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, don't worry. I'm not going to be
I'm
there.
in California.
You know, I am across the country.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that.
Which, I mean, for some people might make them somewhat nervous because they think, what if I need more towels, right? So, like, what if somebody's staying at your place in Florida and all their towels are dirty? What happens?
Well, why are all your towels dirty? I mean, like, are you washing your car with them or something?
You know, they went in the pool or, you know.
Yeah, completely. So, you know, honestly, I usually don't get those problems that much.
Okay.
Like, for the most part, like when I've had guests reach out, it's like, oh, the TV isn't working, and then I call them and it's because it's unplugged, you know, or it's really, really stupid minor stuff. But the key of all of it is having a good cleaner, some good boots on the grounds.
Okay.
So, like my cleaner, I've had to have him show up. I think, I've had my properties in Florida for over a year now, and I think maybe twice I've had to have him go out to the places and just give him some extra bucks, have him go, deal with the problem, and it's done.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of problems you can actually solve with just a phone call.
Right. So, like, I know this is like one issue, like with my wife. We were talking about like renting a place in Lake Tahoe, and very, very nice places we found. But the issue became like, what happens when we need more towels? And I said, we can go wash the towels. We can go down to a laundromat. So I felt like there was a solution there. But
completely. And we have a washer dryer, so you can wash
even
it
easier.
yourself.
You can wash them right there.
Yeah.
But she wanted sort of the hotel feel. You know what I mean? Where somebody, you just leave them on the floor and the maids come pick them up and everything. Is that something you could also offer?
I can. And like sometimes people ask, oh, is it going to be cleaned every day?
Yeah.
And I have to pay my cleaner every time they're there.
Right.
So
like, sure, I'll clean it every day.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to go negative. No big deal.
Right.
No, but basically, if someone asks that, I just say, yes, I can have my cleaner go there, but it's going to be the extra fee. And honestly, every time someone's like, no, I'm good. I'm fine. I can wash my own towels.
Right, exactly. Especially if you have a washer dryer on site.
Yeah, exactly.
Then it makes sense. I mean, I don't know if everybody has that or not, washer and dryer on site. Some people might have the hookups. But
well, it's an actual townhouse. I mean, yeah, you have my indoor hookups and whatnot.
Right, but you've got an actual washer and dryer to go along with those hookups.
Exactly.
Which is good. Some places might have the hookups but don't have the washer and dryer. Because, I don't know, if I were an Airbnb owner, I would probably try to open up my Airbnb spot for as little as possible out of pocket. Like with furniture and things, like I'm not going to go out and buy the Ethan Allen collection. I'm probably going to try and get a decent couch, but pay as little for it as I can.
Correct. Yeah, you got to be really careful because if you want to do this long term, like my wife and I really care about our profile, having it be stellar reviews. We want to keep growing it. So for like when we get furniture, we're looking for decent prices, but we're not looking for cruddy stuff. We're looking for like good stuff that people can walk in and be like, oh, this is nice, but not thousands and thousands of dollars, because they will trash it. And I don't just mean like trash it like they're going to have parties, but people just not respectful. Let me tell you, after being an Airbnb, when you go to hotels and you wonder, man, why are these like towels so crappy? I know why. Because people destroy them every time. I don't know what they do with them, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. But, because I've had rental properties before, and, people don't tend to take care of things as much as you'd like them to. But some people are really respectful of the place. I've had great tenants, that when they deliver the property back to me exactly as I gave it to them. So it's I'm not going to say it's everybody that's the problem, but it's certainly a couple people would ruin it for you. And that's why I wouldn't want to spend a ton of money on furniture and stuff like that, especially the things that are going to get used a lot, like a couch.
Like we have couch covers for that. Anything we can do to kind of mitigate that damage, we do. So something that we can replace easily.
Right. Yeah, and I know there's probably other things too, like carpet, for example. Like, if people are having parties there frequently, there's going to be spills often, and carpet's going to get dirty. It's going to get stained. So do you try to, like, on your townhouses, do you keep them only carpeted in the bedrooms, or are they?
Yeah. Let me actually go into that. So with our two properties in Florida, the first one, we have the vinyl plank flooring all downstairs.
Okay.
It's waterproof. It lasts a long time. It's a good price. It's not, wooden floors where it takes a lot of maintenance.
Right.
And we kept carpet upstairs. And like after, couple months, people, even though we tell people to take off their shoes, well, they don't. So we keep having to pay for carpet cleaners to go in there. So as soon as we got the second property, immediately, we just spent the extra money up front and did vinyl planking throughout the whole place, and that way we don't need to worry about it. It's going to save us more money in the long run.
So you can just run a quick wet mop over everything,
exactly.
If need be, and then same with like countertops, appliances, sinks. I mean, did you go all out? Did you put like stainless steel appliances in, or you?
Not really. I mean, a lot of it is just in the style. So like, you flip properties, there's certain things that you can spend money on for not a lot of money, that make a big difference. Paint, floors, those are the two biggest things, as always. So when we go into a property, when we're buying one, we take the time and we just know that we're going to replace the floors, we're going to paint the house. I don't need to go changing walls or anything like that. But those two things are cheap and they make a lasting difference.
Sure.
And then from there, it's about setting the property up right, having a good decorator. My wife, fantastic decorator. Let me tell you, we get so many compliments on that.
That's the other thing. I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you if you hire somebody to like help decorate, because that's not my thing. I'm not, I could move around every single wall in a house and make it a more useful thing, but what I can't do is then tell you where to put the, the little bowl with the glass beads in it.
No, near the cut.
Those little wicker balls that they put, I don't understand it.
No, I can run the numbers. I can tell you where to buy and why it's a good buy, etc. But let me tell you, when it comes to decorating, my wife, whatever she says, I just go with. Okay, all right, babe.
Now, do you have like an inventory in the house of like every single tchotchke that's in the home, like every candle? Like, do you have an itemized list somewhere?
No, not that bad. I mean, people, like, when they take stuff, it's usually just stupid stuff. So, for example, the very first guest we had stay in Florida, we learned a lot from this, because we first started out with our own house, and I can go into that later. But from there, we thought, oh yeah, people are pretty good. No, they're not. Yeah. So we have the first guests that were there. We laid out like all the extra amenities. Like for the bathrooms, we had toilet paper, but we put all the extra toilet paper underneath the sink. We had like all the extra K-cup coffees, all on the counter. We had all the Tide Pods in the laundry room.
Okay.
First guest came in, all of it was gone.
Really? Took all your Tide Pods?
Took all of it. Took all the toilet paper, took all the paper towels.
That was during that Tide Pod challenge.
Maybe they were, that's what they were doing.
They were just filming for YouTube.
Exactly.
Had to have been.
I'll have to find it somewhere on YouTube.
It'll be up there. Yeah, I guarantee it.
Oh, that's my place.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. There's my Tide Pods.
Yeah.
You should get free advertising.
I should.
If they,
I should. Yeah, but no.
So everything, K-cups, they took everything, like all the disposable stuff.
All the amenities. I'm just like, are you serious?
Like, okay, so if I go to a hotel, like there's like the little shampoos and stuff. Like I've known people that have like kept those and taken them, but like I don't care that much.
Yeah. So pretty much now, when someone books, we ration it out essentially. We give enough for the stay, but if you need soup a lot extra, that's on you. So for example, we have like 1 or 2 extra toilet papers underneath each sink. We have, however many guests are there, we times that by how many days, and we have that many K-cups.
Right.
So it's basically ration out to your stay, because, well, we would like to trust people. We can't.
Yeah. So, but at least it's stuff like that. They're not taking the little fire engine, model you have up on the bookshelf or
exactly.
something.
And honestly, like one thing we're able to do is have cameras outside the property. And we do a lot of things. A lot of it is prep to make sure you don't get those kind of guests. I do a lot of things now just to prevent that kind of stuff from happening. And one of them is just having cameras outside the property.
Yeah.
It prevents a lot of different things. I mean, honestly, the only other things we've had stolen are just 2 hair dryers.
Okay.
That's it.
You think that was on accident, or do you think that was purposeful?
I really don't know.
Well, I mean, who was staying there. Do you ever call these people and say, hey, where's my hair dryer?
Well, for both of those, it was like my cleaner called me and he said, I don't know if this was this day or like 2 days ago.
Okay.
Because he's usually really good at all that. But I mean, it's something I can understand.
He may have forgot to look in the.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's why I was kind of getting at the itemized list. Like if you knew every single thing, because I know like if you ever stay in a timeshare, like inside the cabinet, it'll like say like, 8 plates, 8 dinner plates, 8 salad plates. It'll say like what needs to be in there. Because if you leave the timeshare and some of those things are not in there, they're going to charge you for them after you.
Oh yeah. And it's so hard because you want the guest to have a good experience, but you also don't want to be that. Like, you want them to feel homey. I feel like if I have that, hey, so this is the itemized list. Can you please check off before you arrive?
Right.
It might turn some people away.
And you don't, like, obviously, when people leave, they don't have to clean up to leave, like, when they leave, right?
No, they don't. And it's just, like, just don't trash the place,
Yeah.
Put the dishes in the sink, take out the trash, just simple stuff. You don't have to do much, but it's just the difference between people putting trash in the trash cans and then not. That's when my cleaner calls me and complains.
It says I'm cleaning up extra, which is going to cost you extra probably.
Thankfully, no.
No?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Usually if something's really bad.
Or if it happens a lot, I'm sure you.
Oh, completely. And we really do well with our cleaner. Like we give them extra. Some like extra payouts sometimes. We give him gifts, obviously, for Christmas. We do a lot of that because we want to make sure he's happy. That's very important for anybody looking at Airbnbs. You have to have a good cleaner. They have to be like family to you, and if they're not, you're not going to do well.
So then, like, if I told you, if like, do you ever find out like why I'm coming out there? So, like, if I was to book a stay at your condo, or your townhouse, sorry, you're gonna say, what's the point of your visit, or you just kind of like, whatever? Because
honestly, at this point, I really don't care. It's more of one, when are you booking? And two, where are you coming from? Okay. Those are the two things I care about. Now, mind you, I can't discriminate on where someone's coming from, but
sure.
If someone's booking as a host, if someone is booking my place and they live like within 10, 15 minutes of my place, I am deathly afraid of that guest.
Okay.
Because there's a reason they're booking my place, even though they already live there. And there's a good chance that's a party. They want to party. They want to just trash it.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing for same-day bookings. I don't allow same-day bookings because, again, the chances of people having a party at your place is significantly raised, or even the day before. I might actually even not allow someone to book up to 2 days beforehand.
Okay.
Just because it avoids that type of clientele.
Yeah, because if I wanted to throw a bachelor party there or something, like.
Well, I have on there no parties, and again, just having the cameras out there, having I have some other stuff in place as well, which we can go into. Having the cameras there, making sure you don't have same-day bookings, making sure they're not from the same town. Those prevent a lot of different parties. So yeah, sometimes we have bachelorette parties or bachelor parties, but it's usually amongst that group, and they know, hey, that when they book the place, they're not going to have their friends from in town come over. I'm not going to have 15 cars show up and then have people just trash the place. It's just going to be them going out together, and they might have a few beers. There might be a couple, sometimes a beer maybe, fall on the ground and cleaner might need to clean that, but it's really not that big. It's avoiding those big ticket items. That's the biggest thing as a host. You don't want the big ticket items where I'm afraid of that call when my cleaner calls and says, hey, the couch is destroyed, absolutely destroyed. TV's gone, there's a hole through the wall.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to avoid.
And so for that, but that doesn't Airbnb have some kind of insurance coverage?
They do. It's really difficult to actually get them to pay out.
Okay.
It's super difficult. So, for example, one thing I do as well, again, a lot of this is prevention, helping prevent these things from happening. So for what I do as a host is anybody that books 2 weeks before you stay, I'm going to send you a welcome message.
Okay.
And in that welcome message, because some people just click on your rules and they just when they book, click, 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 click. Okay, good, I'm booked. Not everyone reads the rules.
That's a surprise. That's a huge shock.
Exactly. So basically what I have in there to help prevent that from happening or someone coming and just destroying the place, in my welcome message, about halfway through, I have in there that, hey, to make up, I put my rules again and put, the guidelines. And if you read this message, to help understand you read and agreed to these messages, please reply with the last 4 digits of your phone number, and that will be your code for the stay. And so that way, if, it's a week out and I haven't had that reply yet, I can reach out, hey, have you read it? And if they say yes, and I don't have that 4-digit code, I know they haven't read it.
Right.
So it's stuff like that that really helps prevent those kind of things.
I like it. Okay, so let's say I accept all your rules and I just throw a bachelor party there anyway, and you catch it on the camera. You see, okay, this guy's got 50 people coming in and out of the house.
Yep.
What's your recourse there?
So at that point, what I would do is I would put the video camera footage on the outside, show that you're obviously blatantly not obeying the rules.
Right.
And then I would have to go through the Airbnb resolution center, and I have to, let me tell you, if you're thinking about getting into this, itemize everything. Keep receipts for everything. That is so important. If you do not have a receipt for something, you will not be paid out on it. You need to show exactly what everything cost, every single thing you bought. Luckily we buy a lot of things on Amazon, so
it's all there.
Exactly.
Okay.
But or you have to get quotes for stuff. So if someone did do that, I would pull up the footage, have my receipts, go into the resolution center, and basically address all these concerns.
Okay.
Thankfully, haven't been the most I've had to recourse is basically all the amenities. I got most of my money back on that.
Okay. Oh, you did. So for the person that took all your cake
I did actually.
Tide Pods. Okay.
Yeah, I went to town. I was so mad about that. Seriously,
because you went to Costco or something, right? And had the 100 pack of K-Cups delivered.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So obviously when you bought the place, you were out in Florida kind of coordinating all the renovations and all that stuff, the interior design, right?
Yeah, after we closed, we flew out there, and we were out there pretty much. We actually tried to do it in a week. Let me tell you, that was insane. That's a fun story. But basically, after the week, we were like, oh man, we didn't get everything done. So we actually had to book a second flight out there. Came out there a couple weeks later. Got it all done. So now we know every time when we're getting a property ready, it takes 2 weeks.
Okay.
We just need to do 2 weeks. Like it completely.
And when you bought the place, it was already in pretty good shape. It wasn't like...
Well, it depends. I mean, the houses you get are not in good shape.
Right, yeah. Like when we buy a house, like we're doing like full-on rehabs. We're putting in like new kitchens, new bathrooms, everything. All that.
Yeah, like I don't need to replace countertops. Oh, sometimes I have, but, again, it just basically floors and paint. Goes a long way in getting out the old furniture. Like I have to take down the old drapes and because some of these, even though they were built in 2004, they just do not look like they're from 2004.
And so then you mentioned like taking out the old furniture. So was this place previously being used as an Airbnb?
Yeah. So some of the places you can get, they're already come furnished. Like you get these communities that where they do allow short-term rentals in there. And pretty much what you want to do when that happens, with the first time we like, oh, awesome, it's already furnished. We went there, and no, it cost us more money to get out furniture because we had to call 1-800-GOT-JUNK and just to take some stuff out. Yeah. So the next time when we got the next place, we said it needs to come blank. We don't want anything there because it's easier for my wife to design, to have a blank slate, and also we're not spending money to get stuff out. It's just easier to spend a couple $1,000 more, not too much, just a couple more $1,000, and it's easier to plan, easier to get done, and it's quicker for the rehab.
It really is. I mean, even in our case, but a lot of times we're buying these things and we say, leave your junk. We want you to have a seamless move-out process. We want the people out.
Yeah, exactly.
Because sometimes the people become a problem for us when we're flipping a house where, like, they want to stay after we've bought it. And
this place looks great. Yeah. You've done some great stuff with the...
Oh, it's before we even do that stuff. Yeah. It's still when the house has, half a big hole in the roof and all this other stuff, but they still want to live there because they haven't, sometimes these people are fairly lazy and they don't want to go out and actually find the next place they're going to move to after this one closes escrow. Yeah. Or it's a family member that they're not even really renting it to. It's, there's a lot of weird, funny stories there. But in your case, you're buying something that's more more turnkey, not necessarily like brand new and fresh, but at least like you're not replacing kitchens, you're not replacing the bathrooms.
No, definitely not.
Like you're not doing a roof.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm only really working the floors there. Like if I have to do something in the bathroom, it's usually replacing like the shower head. It's small stuff.
Yeah, very cosmetic.
Yeah, we're spending about $15,000 in the rehab and then $15,000 in furnishings and extra amenities for the place. So about $30,000 is what it takes to get it to our standards, and then it's golden.
Yeah. And then when you go into each bedroom, I mean, you said you had 2 masters. That means you have 2 like regular bedrooms. Are you putting like bunk beds in the regular bedrooms?
We could, but we're not. We because when I was first going into the analysis of all this, like you can do some major analysis on terms of like, is it worth it to get 2 extra guests in there? Is it not? And we realize people are going to break the rules and they're going to have a few extra guests. So that's why we allow up to 8. And that way, if someone brings 2 extra guests, whatever. But if we're already saying 10 and they bring 12, it's really pushing the capacity. Yeah. So we don't have bunk beds in there. We just, but we have 2 twins. So of the 4 bedrooms, 2 of them are the masters, so they have kings, and then the other 2 are 2 twin beds.
Okay. And then what about the exchanging of keys? Somebody books a place with you, and obviously they have to get in somehow. Yeah. How does that work out for you guys? They just knock and somebody shows up. Mr. Belvedere opens the door for them. And
so that's a big thing. When we first started this, before we even bought the properties, we were doing this out of our own home. We had some extra bedrooms, and we wanted to see if this even worked. Okay. So we really just tried to do everything right. And one thing that we did is we got an automatic lock for the front door. And
what do you mean by automatic lock?
Automatic lock. So, for example, I can't say it right. Sludge, whatever. Slag, whatever. Anyways, so I have that for my front door. Now, if you're not familiar with that, it has a keypad on it. Mm-hmm. So when I go and
it's the deadbolt.
Yeah, it's a deadbolt.
Yeah.
So with that deadbolt, I go up to the house and let's pretend my code is 0000. Boom, bum, bum, bum. I get an access.
Which it's not. Don't even try that one.
Not, no.
Come on, guys. That would be ridiculous.
1, 2, 3, 4 space bars. Space balls right there.
Right, exactly. I've got to change my code.
Yeah, so for that, and then there's a way, I'm really going into some big details here. But,
Hey, these are the details I like.
Exactly.
I'm sure there's somebody out
Good.
there that's loving the fact that I'm asking this right now.
If you're enjoying this nerd stuff, I'll tell you. I'll tell you all about it. People are falling asleep at the radio right now.
Unfortunately, we're in the drive time, so there's somebody out there driving their car right now,
Exactly.
dozing off.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, for you, I apologize. We're going to make a loud noise here in a second to wake you up.
So what we have is, now to make your home a smart home, there's different items you can use. We use what's called a wink.
Okay.
Now, for that wink, that allows our deadbolt, that slage, whatever, that can connect to it. So from my smartphone, I can add and delete codes from my deadbolt at the front door.
So the door lock connects to the Wink system, which is connected to the internet.
Correct.
So you through the internet and the magic of cell phones and all this good stuff.
Magic smartphone, I can change the code.
Yeah.
So
there's some other things out there too. Like there's one called Smart Things. Samsung Smart Things is another way you can control these things. I'm just throwing it out there.
I know sponsors. Are we getting paid for this? We better be.
You know what? And we want to thank Samsung for their generous donation.
Yeah.
Checks in the mail. I'm sure we'll get it one day.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just like we've dealt with this too because we've done some smart home stuff too. So
Yep. Smart home, it really helps. So if you remember before, when we were talking about when people send me the code back, the last 4 digits of their phone number, I'm able to then put the code in, and that way, as soon as they leave, when I just go in and I delete that code, so they do not have access to my place again.
Right.
They only have access for the days they're there. And that way, when they're there, they don't have to think, oh, yeah, where's the keys? It's the last 4 digits of your phone number. You're not going to forget that,
Let's hope.
I know, really.
Except for those people that are like, oh, I never know. It's a new phone.
Yeah, whoops, forgot about that.
I'm like, you got a new phone number with your new phone? I haven't had a new phone number for a long time. I've gone through several phones.
I know. I have a friend like that.
Yeah? Every time they get a new phone, they get a new number?
Oh, I literally started putting his contact number as when he last got his new phone number. So it'd be like, I'll just say John, summer 2018. Right. So, like I knew, okay, which phone number does he have? What's the most recent?
That's pretty funny. I never thought about doing it like that.
Yeah.
Because I have a couple friends that do the same thing.
There's my life hack to everyone out there.
There you go. I like these. These are helpful tools and tips,
Yes.
for the would-be real estate investor, or even for some people that have been doing Airbnb for a while. This is some good stuff.
Hopefully, yeah.
Like I would consider myself to be, fairly well adept at real estate transactions and so forth. Like, I think I could probably do an Airbnb. I've just never done one. So
they're great.
And that's the thing. They seem like they'd be a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Especially for somebody that, may want to be like a passive investor, somebody that just has some money sitting around. They want to put it to work somehow. And, they hear about Airbnb, but they don't know anything about hosting a house. They don't know really anything about real estate.
Yeah.
But they've got this cash sitting around. Maybe it's from an old pension plan or, some kind of a retirement plan they had in the past. And, we meet these people all the time.
Yep.
They come to the investment clubs and stuff. So we meet these folks, and it's like, you put together this same kind of a partnership with somebody on this property you have out in the Coachella Valley.
Yep, exactly.
Which is, much more close to home.
Yep.
You had some experience in this out in Florida. So
exactly.
These people, you guys kind of like got together and you said, hey, this is a good match.
Exactly.
Instead, you're just going to manage it for them.
Completely. I like to say co-host.
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 Sure.
Basically manage, but co-host is what I do.
You're definitely not managing it. Forgive me.
Exactly.
You are definitely co-hosting it.
Exactly. That's the perfect word.
I forgot about it. Yeah.
So for what I co-host out in Coachella, so these guys just had the property and
so they already had it.
It's a long story, but pretty much they had it. They actually just wanted a place for Coachella, and
so they bought it.
They bought it
with the intent of just renting it for Coachella.
Pretty much, yeah.
And they wouldn't worry about it the rest of the time.
They would just go and stay, so that way they didn't want to pay thousands of dollars. Exactly.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, so they actually didn't like their management company, and we touched base and whatnot. And essentially, with my experience doing what I'm doing, and I'm already doing it every morning because I'm spending time every morning looking at my properties, seeing who's coming in, making sure they're sending me that code back,
Right.
entering and exiting those codes, making sure, my cleaner has what they need. Like, this is what I do every single morning. It does take some time and more than anything, mental energy, because you just, like, one thing with me now handling this, my wife's like, oh, I haven't had to worry about this, because I'm doing this every morning. Anyways, getting off track. So with that Coachella property, they just didn't want to worry about it. It takes a lot of energy. They make their money. They're very successful in other areas.
Okay.
I always tell people, do what you do best and just focus on that.
Right.
So for them, they're doing other stuff. Just keep focusing on that. And I'm co-hosting for them. And that way, at the end of the month, I just touch base with them and I let them know, hey, you have to, pay the cleaner this much. You have to buy these items. I give them, the list of items they have to buy. And at that point, it makes it significantly easier for them to have this property. But yet for me, I'm still able to I'm just adding one more onto my morning routine.
Yeah.
So, but for them, they don't have to worry about that, and they're able to keep that investment going. And that way, next time they go to Coachella, they're just, I'm basically dealing with the property the rest of the year.
So, do they still stay in the place during Coachella?
Actually, no, when I show them the numbers for this next year, they're deciding not to.
Okay, yeah, probably good thinking, because you can
Yeah.
rent out a place for a week. There's because Coachella's 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, we're looking in the thousands, multiple thousands. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a pretty strong couple weeks, and people pay these. Looking at historical trends.
Sure.
It was funny actually. A couple years ago, someone booked our place out, and let me tell you, I'm not near Coachella. Like, I'm not close.
Okay.
When we were doing the extra rooms in our house, someone booked our place because we were the closest place.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's insane. But
Wow. Yeah, that would be quite a drive,
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, if you're coming from out of state, you may not have the understanding of like distances and
Yes.
the way the freeway
They
system
were in
works.
LA, and they
Oh.
still booked our place, and I was like, okay.
I mean, us people out here in the Inland Empire, we're just wild west cowboys out
Yeah.
here to them. Like people in LA do not
Somewhere out
understand
there.
us.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's if you're out there, you're fine. You're close enough.
Exactly.
It's a hop, skip, and a jump. There's no traffic. You'll be there in 20 minutes. You just have to drive on dirt roads the whole time,
Completely.
because that's all we have out here with our horses
That's all we have.
and buggies. Yeah, it's can get a little tiring sometimes. Having to walk everywhere and take horses.
Especially in our flip-flops.
Yeah, I know. That's true. We are the Flip Flop Investor Show.
Good stuff.
So okay, let's take it back. Let's go back a
Yeah.
little further. Like when Travis Rasmussen first got into real estate, what got you into the business to begin with?
Oh, my
Like, what were you
goodness.
doing before you got into real estate?
Oh, what was I doing before I got in real estate? I can't even think back that far. I pretty much was in sales. I started out, after college. I know I don't look like it today, but I used to be a personal trainer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like at one of the big gyms or
Yeah,
something.
I was back in the day, and long time ago.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then I transitioned into car sales, and then from there, I just wanted to get into the real estate business. And
What
actually,
made you want to get into real estate though?
so for that actually goes back to my wedding day, when my wife and I, after we went, got married, we went on a honeymoon. During that honeymoon, we were in Cancun for a week, and that week just it was insane because you have this whole week to yourself where you don't have to go to work. You don't have to, you don't have any responsibilities. Your only responsibility is make sure you make it to the buffet in time before it closes.
Right, yeah.
So that week felt like a month, and I realized time slowed down. And once I realized like how time slowed down with not having to worry about that, I was like, we need to make sure we're successful, so that way life isn't blowing past us. Because before then, week after week, you wake up and you look at the calendar, you're like, how did a month go by? You're timing your months by how much, when your last paycheck is, or, when you have to close another deal. And so for that, we were just like, we need to change. We need to change. So at that point, we decided we need to jump into real estate. We need to jump into investing. How I first transitioned into that is I would work for the new home builders. So I am an agent. I'm a realtor. So I was working for new home builders for a couple of years. And after, I was doing well in that, and we were able to use those funds to get our properties. But in essence, for new home builds, I'm not sure if anyone's looking at doing that. You are Saturday and Sunday is your Monday, Tuesday.
Right.
So for like a couple of years, just Saturday and Sunday, missing out on birthdays, events, you just feel like your soul's gone.
Yeah.
Like it's great. Again, it was wonderful working for them, but Saturday and Sunday, like as an agent, I'm still working on weekends, but like I'm celebrating my family's Christmas on this Sunday.
Yeah.
And even though it's not Christmas, I'm able to do that.
Sure.
Which is awesome.
That is cool. Yeah. And I mean, that's a lot of people get into it because of the time freedom, because of the potential for financial freedom and everything too, and not needing a job, create your own retirement, all that good stuff.
Yep.
And it's definitely the allure, I think, for a lot of folks. But then they get into it for a little bit, and then they realize how difficult it actually is.
Exactly.
It looks so easy on TV, but there's
super easy.
There's a lot of things you need to know, and it's education is like the key thing. And it's probably good that you worked for a home builder because learning the sales side, plus you understand, just to get a license in general, you got to take classes. So you learn a lot just from doing that. And once you pass the test, you've basically shown the world that you can, understand real estate to the extent you need to, pass that test. But it's good. Like I always tell people, if they want to get into the business as an investor, they should get into the business doing something else first. Like go work for
absolutely.
Go be an agent or go work for a title company or an escrow company or do loans, do something.
Yeah, honestly, like if I could talk to my 20-year-old self, I would like this is my recommendation. If any young people are out there, capital is the lifeblood of this business.
Yeah.
Like everyone will say capital is the lifeblood. Yes, you can get started wholesaling. Yes, there's lots of options to get started in the business doing like pounding the pavement. But capital by far is the king.
Yep.
And so if you're like 20 and you can get a good job, like I would say find the job where you can make the most amount of money.
Okay.
For the least amount of work. And just work your butt off. If you can work overtime and just make an extra $80,000 a year, if you're just because some jobs you can do that.
Sure.
You can absolutely do that,
especially in sales.
Oh, completely.
That's kind of why sales is such a good basis for a lot of people.
Exactly. And if you're killing it at that, you take that money every year because guess what? You don't need to quote unquote find a deal. You can make it a deal with just buying properties. So if you're buying 5 years and you bought 5 properties, you're going to do great. And that's really going to change it because every year when you're buying that property, that's just going to add to your income so you can keep rolling it.
Right.
So that's what I would say. Just capital is the lifeblood. And if you can, if you're young and you can find a good job, you can study for a good job. And it's not because you don't want to do that job for the rest of your life. You just want to, basically.
It's a means to an end.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. And when you say capital, I mean, capital is a very good word because capital doesn't have to mean your money.
No.
Capital can mean other people's money. And oftentimes
Absolutely.
in real estate, it does mean other people's money. I mean,
OPM.
In every single deal I've ever done, I've used other people's money, because other people have money and they have lots of it and they don't know what to do with it. It's amazing when you meet so many people out there that have money and literally don't know how to invest it. And they might even be terrified of the stock market. They might be terrified of all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, especially today,
Yeah, well, I know. Yeah, stock. We actually on days like today we like to call it happy fundraising day for real estate because when the stock market tanks, it's like thank you. Bring your money over to safety. This is where
we got you.
Exactly. That's what real estate is. It's something tangible.
Yeah.
And it's funny to me how many people actually like the stock market above real estate because in the stock market, you're buying a piece of paper that you won't even hold at any point in your ownership of that stock.
Yeah, no.
And, you're hoping that this company is going to perform well and that other people are going to agree with you on that. And that they're going to cause the stock to go up in value. It's like the epitome of thin air. Like you're buying ether. It's literally you're buying
that business
nothing.
Can go away tomorrow.
It could. I doubt Apple's going anywhere. However,
yes, correct.
They could make a stupid product. Their next thing they launch could be the dumbest thing in the face of the planet. And
but let me tell you, my properties. When I go out in Florida, I can go in that townhouse and I know I'm cash flowing very well. And those people are paying for my mortgage. So 30 years from now, I'm going to have those townhouses paid for. and I was able to, reap the benefits of that during that whole time.
Exactly.
So that is something that's going to be consistent.
Of course, anybody that's buying these properties with a retirement account, they may not be able to use them as a vacation rental of their own.
I don't mean it like that.
But
like,
you can. I'm just. I like to throw the caveats out there.
Oh, yes.
I like to rain on everybody's parade. That's what I'm here for, is to give you that information that's kind of a downer.
Yeah.
That's why I bring in special guests each week, because they can give you the upside. I just give everybody the downside and say,
you're doing great.
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. No, usually, I love this business. It's hard for me sometimes to go home because I actually enjoy what I do all day, and of course, when I'm at home, I love being with my wife and kids so much, it's sometimes hard to go to work. So I have two, worlds that I have that are sometimes conflicting with one another.
Yeah.
And I envy you in a way, because you and your wife do it together, that it's like you guys have this thing in common, and I've met people that do it that way. You've met Jim Keller. I'm sure a lot of people on the show have heard Jim Keller before. He's been on here a few times. And, Jim and his wife, they do it together. And actually, their daughter's also involved in the organization. So, for him, he says sometimes it's tough because you can't shut it off. You know what I mean? Like, it's basically always work.
Yeah.
Like when they want to just go out and go wine tasting or something, all of a sudden, what are we doing about the house over there on X? And it's like, can't we just sit here and enjoy some wine and not talk about this?
Exactly.
Like, do you have that situation, or are you guys able to kind of differentiate it? You were saying you do check your properties every morning. So.
Yeah, but because, mind you, I still have to. Here's the problem with Airbnb, with me having to basically still manage my own and co-host the one. Mm-hmm. I have to keep my phone on me at all times. For this radio show right now, like I told my wife, hey, like if anything comes in, you have to, reply to that. But honestly, all night, I have to have my phone on. If I hear two buzzes, I know, because it's like my text message and Airbnb hit at the same time.
Okay.
I'm like, that's Airbnb. I need to handle that now.
Yeah.
So, if someone's going to be booking like next week or whatnot, I wait till the morning. I say, okay, cool. Put it on the back burner. I wake up in the morning. I handle them. But if someone's there and, they get hey, I can't get in.
Right.
I've had, back to the deadbolts. One time, my deadbolt just died. Battery
died, yeah.
Exactly. And I was like, oh man. So I had to handle that. I luckily have backup keys so people can get in just in case and whatnot. But I still always have to be on. I have to be available for those kind of situations.
Right. Because somebody could show up at 2:00 in the morning.
Completely.
If that's how their booking is,
Yep.
You'd obviously probably know that going into it, but
luckily for me, that's 11 p.m. here. But
right, exactly. Yeah, that's true. Unless it's the Coachella Valley property.
Oh my goodness, that's gonna be fun.
Thanks for inviting you. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but So basically, like you and your wife, you just have an understanding that the phone's got to be on, and that's just a reality because that's your guys' income stream.
Exactly. If I'm checking my phone, I'm checking it for business.
Right.
Sorry, guys. And I always have to tell people that in conversations when I feel my phone buzz and I tell them, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm checking my phone, not because, I want to talk to you, but I have to check my phone when it buzzes.
Yeah, that's your business.
Yep.
Yeah, it'd be like if you had a liquor store and, if nobody's in there, you can just hang out and talk to your friend that's right there. But if a customer comes in and they want something, you'd be like, hold on, I got to help my customer real fast. So it's a business, and you got to run it like that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's general business hours, right? But like you said, something could come up in the middle of the night and, it's got to get handled.
Got to get handled.
Might be a break-in. There could be a lot of other things that could happen in the middle of the night. So, I was going to ask you, and this is going back. We're getting off track with this.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you the townhome complex.
Yeah.
Is there like a central office or something like that?
Oh my goodness, I could talk a lot about that. So, okay, so for where we are in Florida, you can get complexes that are just how do you say this? Like short-term rentals. Mm-hmm. It's just short-term rentals. They're cheaper, but that's all they are. And so they have a front desk and you have to go through the front desk.
Okay.
We didn't want that for multiple reasons. First off, we always, when my wife and I get a property, we're always thinking about the exit plan. What are the exit strategies? And we want to make sure that we're able to, basically sell it any way we need to.
Right.
And so the complex we're in, they have a front desk, but they do not book properties. They don't do any of that.
Okay.
It's basically, they have a front desk for, here's the pool, here's this, here's, if you want to buy tickets, here's that. But it's a complex that I'm able to do short-term rentals and people actually live there as well.
Okay.
So it's zoned for both, and that way I can, if I need to exit and I need to sell it tomorrow, if like my wife and I get sick or something, it still qualifies for a lot of the loan programs.
Okay, so you can still get an FHA or traditional conventional financing.
Exactly.
That's good. Yeah, I was just thinking that because some places I know, the place where Stephen and I stayed for our first experience, where we stayed in that girl's apartment, their front desk handled all this stuff for them. I don't know if I don't know if they actually do that exclusively, or if you just had something worked out with them where they did it for her.
It's usually I don't like that personally. I don't, because again, I want to control my guests. I want to control the experience for my guest, and that's what's really important. That's what I care about. I want to keep growing, those reviews, that my profile, having a good reputation, and it's like I am almost OCD when it comes to that. So it's if I have to give up that control to the front desk, and they're gonna charge a brutal amount. It's I don't have the greatest view of them. So.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they're going to charge you probably 10% of what you're collecting.
Oh, more. Oh, that's
basic.
No, it's like 20, 30.
Oh wow.
Yeah, if they're going to control it, like as a property management company, they charge a lot.
Okay, so I mean, something to consider.
Yes,
especially for somebody that may say, well, I don't want my phone going off at 2:00 in the morning, but I can afford to buy this place. For them that might be worth it. It's if it still cash flows and everything, that could make sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
so obviously
if someone wants an Airbnb and they want me to co-host it, I'll be more than happy to help in that way.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, you can make it passive for them.
Exactly, I'd be happy to.
You guys can work out some kind of
situation.
situation.
I'm already doing it. I already, that's already where I'm putting my, I'm already in that base.
Right. Exactly. It's not like it's some new transition for you.
Exactly.
It'd be a fairly easy thing to take on and just start doing that.
Just continue it.
Exactly. I like it, and I think it's I think it's a good model for people out there. If you have some experience with Airbnb, it doesn't have to be your property. You could co-host it with somebody else, or you can co-own a property with somebody else potentially, and do it that way. And of course, I'm not giving any kind of legal advice. Anybody out there that's listening to this, we're just a couple guys talking about investing in real estate. We're not doing this because we're trying to tell you what to do with your money. I would never dream of that.
Absolutely.
Before you do any kind of investment, you should always call your attorneys, your financial representatives, and talk to them about these crazy kooky ideas you're coming up with after listening to some weird guys on the radio. That being said, I just want to throw that out there because sometimes people might think, since we're talking about this type of stuff that we're obviously experts, but we're not. We're not experts, right? We're just a couple of investors.
We
just do this for a living. That's all.
Yeah.
And we obviously live within the confines of the law. We would never dream of stepping outside of that. But
no, absolutely not.
There are investors that do, and you need to be careful of those. So always do your due diligence. Before you get any deal. I don't know why I threw that in the end there. I never do. I just threw that out there because it struck me for a moment.
I'm sorry.
It's all you, Travis. You're the problem now.
Never come back.
If you don't mind, though, I'm going to quickly talk about the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club, because there are some folks out there that want to become real estate investors, and I want to help. So we created this real estate investment club called the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club back in 2014. It's basically grown to be a very large organization now. We just had our holiday party. We had the Winter Carnival on Saturday.
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
Amazing.
Travis was there. A bunch of people were there. We had open bar, which was, I don't know if that was a mistake or not, but
80s themed Christmas party.
80s themed or a Christmas movie character, which it was fun. For those of you watching, I'm shaved right now because I came as Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation. But yeah, we had a ton of fun, and it's something we do every December because most people are kind of out of town, so we just throw a party for the people that are going to stick around. And so we had a pretty good attendance, good food, good drinks, good times. We had a lot of fun. But every month, other than December, we do a monthly meeting. We do that at the Mission Inn on the fourth Wednesday of every month, and we just get together, talk about real estate. We also have a game that we play called Cash Flow, which is a board game created by Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He created this board game for people that want to learn how to do creative real estate investment deals. So we get together and play that once a month. That's on the first Wednesday. So the next one's coming up on January 2nd. So for those of you that want to, get your New Year's off right, and you want to do it right away, January 2nd, we're doing that. That's at the Round Table Clubhouse in Highland. That's going to be on January 2nd. Starts at 6 p.m. Be there. There's pizza. There's some soft drinks available, salad, all kinds of good breadsticks. Oh, man, the works. But you get to play the game, get to meet a lot of other people that want to learn about making cash flowing rentals a reality for themselves. And, we do the Saturday morning coffee. That's the Saturday before the main monthly meeting, which is the fourth Wednesday. It's kind of confusing. We are probably going to be doing it at Lift Coffee in Riverside again this month, or on January. But we haven't confirmed that with them yet. I'm sure we'll get back to you on that. But yeah, if you need any more information on it, you can go to meetup.com. That's where everything is that you need to find out about the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. We're the big group. We're like 4,300 members. Travis is a member. He comes to many of the meetings. And we hope to see you guys there at some point. And I want to thank Travis Rasmussen for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you all again after the new year. We're not going to be back next Thursday, but we'll be back the week after that on January 3rd. We'll see you all then. Take care.